My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. I just made it out here to a section of the Green Forest, and unfortunately, I don't have time to talk. We have a big storm very close to us, and I have no idea where that storm is going. It is so close that I really can't waste any time. I need to get my tarp up. Let's just go ahead and do that now. You know the saying, it's better to be safe than sorry. My plan was to go further into the Green Forest, but I'm out of time. This storm is really close. That storm system is sounding vicious, and at the same time, it's getting closer. That doesn't mean we are going to get hit, but it's certainly possible. Based upon the thunder, I can guesstimate distance of the storm system itself. I believe I have enough time to set up my tent, so we might as well get that out of the way, get it done. With that being said, I need to hurry. I tell you what, everyone, that storm system sounds so close. At the same time, it's almost like I can hear the roar of the rain falling. I could be wrong though. No matter what, we are in good shape. The tarp is up, the tent is ready. Now everyone, all we have to do is await the rain. If it's going to rain. I started this adventure about 2 hours ago. I've been hiking up this mountain. As soon as I got to the parking lot, I heard thunder, and I just decided to forget filming it. I needed to beat feet, climb this mountain. Again, I didn't go as far as I wanted to. I just had to stop here. It sounded like the storm was getting too close. What do you know? It is beginning to rain. It is super light, but it has started. One thing nice about the rain and the storms here, it's cooling this place down. I can literally feel the heat being sucked up into the atmosphere. When I was setting up camp, hot, humid, but it's not hot anymore. The temperatures have gone from roughly 69 degrees Fahrenheit all the way down to 60. That's impressive. And it feels good. Before the heavy rain sets in, let's go ahead and finish setting up camp. Let's get a chair set up. Let's get some lights going. It looks like the rain is fizzling out, everyone. It never did become heavy, very, very light. But hey, that's okay. It dropped the temps, and I'm thankful for that. I'm sure you're wondering, why don't I just check the radar? That's because cell phones do not work in this area. After Hurricane Helene came through, it tore up a lot of cellular networks. There was one actually in this area. Why, I do not know. It was really bad though. That one is now gone, and they're not going to replace it because this is so remote. So there is no more signal. There is no more checking the radar. Just in case you're wondering, everyone, how I know the temperatures when my phone doesn't work and all that stuff, that's because I carry a digital thermometer with me. That way I can check on it. I can actually see the differences taking place instead of basing my observations on feel. That is how I know what the temp is. And that's how I know how much the temp dropped. That breeze feels incredible. Folks, behind me here, I have the brand new One Tigris Stella tent. This is the first trip out with this tent, and I can't wait to see how well it performs in these warmer conditions. The original Stella tent was a wintertime tent. This is more of a hybrid, a winter and a summertime tent. We'll see how well it performs in this episode. Everyone, I am so glad that it didn't rain hard enough to soak all of the firewood on the ground. That's because here in a few minutes, I'm going to light up a fire. I have a cool piece of gear that I want to show you all. It's an old piece of military surplus that I like a lot. This, everyone, is an old Swiss military product. This is called the volcano stove. That's because flames erupt from the top, as you've seen. This is a pretty neat kit. You have the stove itself, a cup, a canteen. Naturally, this is really old school. They're not using this any longer out in the battlefield in training and whatnot. That would be a little bit silly to spend all this time getting a fire going inside of this, but nonetheless, this is really, really neat. Over the years, I've amassed quite the collection of military stoves and stuff, cook sets. This is, without a doubt, one of the coolest ones. What I'm doing here is making some cowboy coffee inside of this cup. Another nice thing about this stove here is the smoke that it's putting off. It is getting rid of every single black fly in this area. Thank God. I'm not sure if you all have seen them, but they've been driving me crazy. This area does not have issues with mosquitoes. Even up here, ticks, they're not that bad. But what this area has are black flies. An unbelievable amount of black flies. They don't bite, thank goodness, but they are annoying. It has turned out to be a beautiful day up here in the mountains. I thought for sure we were going to get it, but nope, that did not happen. In this case, that's okay. I really did want to fire up that stove and make cowboy coffee that way instead of using a kettle. Just in case you don't know, when I pour the cold water into the center of the cup, it causes all of the coffee grounds to fall to the bottom of the cup. That way, when I pour it out, there's no coffee grounds in this cup. That's a little trick for you right there. With that stove there, you're not going to find that on Amazon or at Walmart or anything like that. That is old military surplus stock. If you're interested in one, I would check out eBay. Do not check out military surplus sites or even military surplus stores. They're going to charge you a ton of money for those. eBay, when it comes to military surplus, is the best place to go. It really is. Go back roughly 5 years, those stoves could have been picked up for 20 bucks. Now they're like $70. Sometimes $70 in the worst condition you've ever seen. Is it worth it? Well, that's up to you. "70 degrees, everyone. That is not bad. 73% humidity. Sad face, wet." That's funny. I'll tell you what, we are lucky to have a place like this to go. You can drop off of the mountain 2,000 feet. It's 85, 90 degrees. Go down even further, it's 100 degrees. We're up here and it's 70. How awesome is that? A lot has taken place in the world since the last adventure. My mom passed away, and I do want to take a second and just thank everyone for all of the kind words. This will be the last time that I talk about it, I promise. But the outpouring of support and kindness after last week's episode was incredible, and I just want to say thank you all so much. I wish I could give you all a shout out. That's not possible though. A couple thousand shout outs, you know what I mean? But this cheers is for you all. Thank you so much again for your kindness. I do appreciate it. The other big news maker was what was taking place with Israel and Iran, the United States and Iran. Here on the channel, we're not going to talk politics, nothing like that. But we can take a second and appreciate the military operation that took place. What I'm talking about is how the United States targeted Iran's nuclear infrastructure and destroyed it. That was history in the making right there. I have a friend who's in the Air Force, and after all the details came out, of course he didn't tell me anything top secret or anything like that, but after all the details came out, he reached out to me and he was beyond excited concerning like everything that took place, all that was done. Under the cover of darkness, the United States was able to fly B-2 bombers across the world into Iran, completely undetected by the entire world, drop those bunker busters down air shafts the size of washing machines, and destroy those facilities. They got out of there. They were not once detected. And we're talking about one of the most secure locations in the entire world with advanced radar systems. Everything was working. They just did not see those jets, or I should say those bombers. Maybe the jets too, I don't know. All that I know is that my buddy was geeking out on the technical aspects of what took place. And I have to agree, it's pretty insane. Now comes the interesting part. What happens next? What happens in the Middle East? What happens here in the United States? There's the possibility of some form of retaliation. I can tell you all, the United States military, they know this, and they're preparing for it. If you don't think those borders were being watched before, they're being watched now. That's for sure. Concerning the Middle East, that's a big question mark, right? Iran was looked at previously as being untouchable, as being this badass of the Middle East. But that perception has changed. The entire world watched as Iran got attacked and really couldn't do anything about it. So how does that influence different players in the Middle East? I have no idea. I am not the person for the answers on that one, but it will be interesting to find out. Now, of course, war is bad. People dying is bad. But it's history, folks. History that's happening right before our eyes. And who knows what is going to come next. I don't know. Do you know? Comment down below. I think every effort has to be made to keep nuclear weapons out of the hands of the bad guys. Bad guys, you know what I mean? But I'm not sure if that can be done realistically forever. I suspect that one day someone's going to get one, and it may be a very rudimentary device, but I think it's going to happen. I don't think it can be stopped forever. There's just too many countries that have them. There's too much material that's too easy to access. Hopefully I'm wrong, right? I'd be glad to be wrong on that one. Anyways, everyone. Anyways. The day is drawing on. I haven't heard thunder in the last hour or so, but it has been thundering for the majority of this trip. We got just a little bit of rain and a whole lot of thunder. Luckily right now, what we're getting is this incredible breeze. It is coming through the forest here. It's actually quite gusty, and it feels incredible. 70 degrees. The temp is actually continuing to go down. It'll be interesting to see by morning how cool is it up here. We'll just have to wait and find out. We are once again surrounded by storms. We have one to our south and one to the northwest. This one over here, it's pretty loud, but it's going away from us. This one over here, it could potentially come this way. I really can't tell. These storms are really slow moving, so just because it's really close to us doesn't mean that it's going to hit here. They're just building up, firing off, and then dying out really, really quickly, over and over and over. So we'll just have to wait and see. As far as the time goes, it's a little bit after 7 o'clock, and it is time for dinner. For dinner tonight, I'm having roasted chicken with white cheddar biscuit dumplings. And I did not put too much water in it this time. The last biscuit meal that I had was soup. Delicious soup. It really is incredibly dark up here. Much darker than it should be for this time of day. That's okay though. At least it's nice and cool. Currently 67 degrees and dropping. Unfortunately, the humidity is going up. It's quite sticky right now, and it feels quite a bit warmer than 67 because of that. It's beginning to rain just a little bit, everyone. At the same time, the wind is picking up. That cell towards the east is coming in now. I just got my rain gear out, so if I have to put it on because there's wind-driven rain, I can do so. Let's go, everybody. Let's do this. Let it rain, let it storm. I don't care. It's gonna be okay. We have our tarp set up. The tent is set up. Dinner is ready. Life is good. Okay, everybody, the storm is officially here, and it's about to freaking rock and roll. The wind is coming in quite strong, and that means the rain is now going horizontal. I'm going to get my rain jacket on, and also my pants. Oh yes, everyone, it is raining. It is absolutely coming down, everyone. This is a hell of a rain event. I'm having to push the water off of this tarp because the rainfall is overwhelming it. This is a great test for that tent. Trial by fire, baby. As an update, everybody, it's been about 30 minutes of heavy rainfall. The rain continues, but luckily it's beginning to slack off just a little bit. That, everyone, was a very intense thunderstorm. I don't know how well it comes through on camera because the camera can't capture everything. It really can't capture depth. But let me show you my backpack here. My backpack is underneath the middle of the tarp, and it is absolutely soaked. That's how much rain was coming horizontally and soaking everything underneath this. This backpack is absolutely drenched. You may be wondering what went wrong with the tarp. Why did it begin holding so much water? Absolutely nothing went wrong. Basically, the rainfall amount overwhelmed it. There was so much water landing on top of this tarp, it was just pushing down on it. Basically, gravity at work. The weight of the rain, the water, it creates pockets. And it's just something that you have to keep an eye on. There's no such thing as a perfect setup in a storm. There's always going to be some issue. That goes hand in hand with using a tarp. You have to be proactive. You have to keep an eye on it. You have to take care of it. You do all of that and it will take care of you too. Damn, that was good. This, folks, is amazing. Super, super good. It's kind of interesting. It's 64 degrees right now, which isn't especially hot, but I'm about to start sweating. It is so humid and sticky. I've got to take this off. I thought it was chilly. It's not. I made a mistake. Oh, everyone, that is so much better. Over the last couple of years, I've been keeping track of like the average cost of like outdoor equipment. We've gotten to the point now where everything is so expensive from name brand companies here in the United States. I'm not sure if those prices make sense anymore. 5 years ago, the really expensive outdoor gear was like the stuff made from cottage companies, like handmade in the United States, Z-Packs, Mountain Laurel Designs, companies like that. Their products would be really, really expensive. $300 or $400 for a backpack, $500 for a sleeping bag, $1,000 for a tent. But now, just the regular companies are charging those prices. I was on REI the other day, just looking around for new products, and there's nothing available as far as outdoor gear goes that's under like $250, with a lot of things averaging around 500 bucks. Let's just take this as an example. Would you spend $500 on an Osprey backpack to go backpacking? Would you spend $300 on a day pack? These prices have gotten so high. $500 for a backpack? That's insanity to me. Over the last couple of months, you have seen some prices increase because of tariffs and whatnot. But that's not the real reason behind like this steady increase. Again, it's been taking place for a long time now. You know, honestly, everyone, I'm not sure what's going to happen to the outdoor companies here in the US. REI, for an example, continues to lose money hand over fist. Over the last 3 years, maybe 4 years, they've lost almost $700 million. For 2024, they lost almost $200 million. Eureka, out of business, completely gone. And they are officially gone. I reported on the losses from REI, and I also reported about Eureka going under. Diamond brand has gone under. They're gone. Moose Jaw, they're in big trouble. They've been closing a ton of stores. Ultimately, the outdoor industry here in the US is in big trouble. You can't charge $500 for a backpack. You know, the average everyday individual is not going to spend that. They don't need it. They're not going for a through hike. And these are backpacks that aren't even designed for through hiking. They're heavy, regular backpacks, you know? Nothing all that special. No great advancement. Nothing like that. It just doesn't make any sense. The winds are picking up big time, everyone. That was fairly close. We've got more storms firing off. South and west. I'm not hearing anything from the east, but you never know. If anything develops in the east, it'll hit us here, so. Tell you what, everybody, I'm going to finish up dinner and just call it a night. Hop inside the tent. It's getting pretty chilly, actually. I wish I had a view of the sky. It's the only bad thing about being off trail in the middle of the forest. You can't see anything. By the way, I checked on the tent and it's completely dry on the inside. There's been no leaking at all. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm inside of the tent now. I have the fabric rolled back, the mesh zipped up. I have a good amount of air coming into the tent. Feels good. Everyone, I'm going to bed. I'm going to lay back, listen to the thunder, and I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I will see you all then. Oh yeah. Double Taster's Nasty Trader Joe's blend. It's enough to send you to the moon, but not enough to bring it back. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. 5 o'clock. Temperature 58 degrees. Breezy. Last night I slept incredible. The Stella did a great job. The brand new Stella. Airflow inside of that, fantastic. Better than that, it rained off and on all night long. It thundered until, I don't know, an hour ago. It was just non-stop lightning flashes all night long. Too bad I couldn't see any of it. I would just see flashes and that's it. But everyone, cheers, good morning. It's gonna be a good day. It's chilly right now, but it's not gonna be chilly by this afternoon. Rinse and repeat, basically. Every day for the last 2 weeks, been very warm, lots of showers, lots of thunderstorms. Yeah, the road to the trailhead that I parked at is just about gone. Somebody actually filled in a washout in the middle of that road with like hand-sized rocks, and they built that up so that you can drive over the top of it. If it rained super hard where I parked at yesterday, I don't know if I'm going home. I might have to build a rock bridge. But whoever did that, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So everyone, what's new? Comment down below. When making these videos, I'm always talking to the camera. I'm talking about what I'm doing. I'm talking about, something I've done. I'm talking about myself, which, to be honest, that's not my favorite subject. I'd much rather hear from you all. I want to know what you all have been up to, what you've been doing. So comment down below. I'll read all the comments, which is incredibly hard to do because this channel receives 2,000 or 3,000 comments a day. A day, everybody. The YouTube app will crash after loading so many. It's pretty funny. I could do it on my computer, but even after a couple of hundred, that web page becomes so long, it starts to slow down a little bit, and I have a very powerful computer. I appreciate all the comments, everyone. I really do. Thank you so much for all of the engagement with this channel. I do appreciate it. Talking about engagement, let's talk emails for a minute from companies, right? So I receive, I don't know, on average 100 emails from viewers, and in the midst of that there's probably another, let's see, 30 emails from companies every single morning. 80% of those companies you've never heard of, and they're offering products that do not relate to the outdoors. So oftentimes they call me not Luke but Luck, L-U-C-K, which I find really funny. Sometimes they just call me the wrong name completely. Sometimes there's no name at all. Sometimes, and this is weird, it's addressed to Susie. A company sending an email to Susie is not weird. It's what they call her. So you all may remember a long time ago, Susie came down with Lyme disease, right? From a tick. After that point, we started receiving emails from Chinese companies where they are addressed to Susie Lyme. I kid you not, it's super weird. I don't get it, and I do not know why it continues to this day, but it does. Like, they must have, I don't know what they thought. I just can't even imagine how they came up with that, but someone did, and they shared all of that information with other Chinese companies. So now we receive, I don't know, a handful of emails to Susie Lyme every day. Susie Lyme. That's so great. The joys of being on YouTube, everyone. So funny. I love every single email. Thank you all so much for writing in. I do appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. I have a great time talking to everyone. you know, like with the people who want to be helpful. Sometime back, someone wrote in and they stated that they were concerned that I was stirring my coffee with the package that the instant coffee came in. I could see why someone would think that because of like microplastics and all that stuff. But the vast majority of microplastics that people are consuming and whatnot isn't from plastic packaging or something like that. It's like in the air, you're breathing it in. And a major source of microplastics come from your vehicle. You can look all this stuff up, and back in the day when microplastics was a topic, I started to look into it a little bit. So yeah, if you're concerned about microplastics, stop driving your vehicle. Imagine like how intense the heat buildup is inside of your vehicle during a sunny day, right? Then you have to think about the molding, the plastic, the PVC and all that stuff. PVC alone has been known to cause cancer and, you know, blah 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 and all that stuff. It's one of those things where it makes for an interesting talking point, but there's really not much you can do about it. So, and that's how it goes with a lot of things, really. Yeah, everybody wants to have clean energy, but there's no such thing. You might want to drive an EV because you think that's going to save the planet. No. First off, coal is going to charge those batteries, and making that vehicle, making those batteries, you'll never offset the destruction, the chemicals and all of that stuff to make that vehicle, you know. So it's one of those things where we all just do our best. I'm not going to stop stirring my coffee with the plastic package. You're not going to stop driving your car. I'm not going to eat the plastic package, and that's a huge plus. So, again, we all just do our best. And at the same time, a lot of what we're talking about, it's just talking points we've seen on TV, you know what I mean? The topic of the hour, microplastics, and this, and moving on to that, and so on. Tell you what, I'm just about ready to start moving. So chilly, you know? I mean, 58 degrees with a really nice breeze. I'm almost cold. I guess I could put on my headlamp, start breaking everything down. It will be light out here in just a minute. I think that's what I'll do. I'm not going home directly once I pack up and hike out of here. I have to go to Lone Wolf Mountain. I have to mow. I have to mow in the morning because it's going to rain in the afternoon, and it's also going to get so hot. Yeah, I'll just put up with mowing wet grass. But it's going to be a good day. I can feel it. I really did sleep good last night. It was a good night. My friends, I'm all packed up. It is time to go. I want to thank you all very much for joining me for this trip. I really do appreciate it. If you had a good time, hit the thumbs up, as that is a great way to support this channel. Make sure to check out my second YouTube channel, A Quiet Place Adventures. Everybody, take care, strength and honor. I will see you all next week. See ya.